Hey, what's up? Yeah, I can hear you.
Hi Jay, hi Hero. What's up?
Yeah, it's good.
Cool.
Hey guys.
Hey, Hero,
Hey, how's it
welcome.
going?
I'm good, man.
Yeah, it's good.
Thanks for having me on this.
Of course,
Yeah, I've been looking forward to it, so I appreciate
same
it.
here.
There's like a couple more minutes, I guess, for more people to flow in here.
Sure.
It looks like Ethereum might have got plugged back in. It wasn't working for a sec, but I think it's up again.
I was looking at Hero while we wait. I was looking at some of your recent tweets, and I actually was looking into buying some looks, the looks rare marketplace, right? So I saw you made a post about buying in a bit. What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I liked it. So I'm in. I'm not really in with a lot of size right now, but I'm gonna add right here. My really good friend, you guys can follow him. His name's Altcoin Sherpa, but he kind of started out with me on crypto Twitter several years ago. But pretty much anything he says, I go with, and I just saw that he is looking to add at this level for the retest, so I tend to believe him.
Yeah, I took
But
a look at it, and I think it's a pretty good time to get in. They had a really crazy. I was looking at it actually when they first launched, like right after their IDO, and like there was that nice initial pump. They were doing really great in February, I think, with like taking market share from OpenSea. But overall, like personally, I like the platform. They pay back to their community a lot more than OpenSea.
yeah, I like. I feel bad for the dude that offered did a global offer for like 230 ETH yesterday on Moonbird, and someone was able to flip the 40 ETH purchase for 230 or 40. So, but it's a feature.
For sure.
Yeah, I can definitely see a lot of chemistry going on between you boys.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
the
fun.
American chemistry. Yeah.
Yeah,
Have
so
you?
I have a question. So yeah, this hero or hero, yeah,
What is the right way to pronounce your moniker
yeah,
there? Is
yeah.
that like
It goes both ways. So Harrow, I think, is the right way, but you can say it however you want, Joe.
Okay, I see.
You you,
Okay,
you
okay.
can call me
Thank
whatever you
you.
want. You can call me Tubby Cat.
Okay, thank you, man. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how the name came about. Just Harrow. I don't know. I've had a lot of different PFPs, but I think as soon as um, the Electric Sheep are revealed, I'm definitely going to be changing up to that because I love the styles and I'm excited to see what the rest of the reveal looks like. So
that would be cool? We would obviously appreciate that.
yeah,
Are you speaking about your name? Are you a basketball fan by choice or by any chance?
you know, so my team is the Utah Jazz, and they unfortunately aren't very good. So I get a lot of people when I hop into communities thinking that I'm Tyler Harrow or Tyler Hero.
Exactly. That's the first thing I thought of because I'm a big NBA junkie. Yeah.
Yeah, so I joke with people and say, "Oh yeah, that's me," and then they get pretty stoked, and then I break the news, and a lot of people think I'm a girl too. So I always get
How
people.
come?
Well, I think my I think a lot of my profile pictures are girls, so they either think I'm Japanese or a girl or a mixture of both. But I'm just an e-girl, So I rock the picture, but I'm just me.
It's true that in the space, girls are really very much needed.
They're a
Yeah, no,
rare
I agree.
commodity. Yeah.
I have sometimes I'm on spaces. I have my wife talk just to throw people off, so she'll have her girl voice and like, wait, I thought you were a dude, or I thought you were a girl. So, but but yeah,
All
I
right, all
yeah.
right. Okay, so I think we're officially live now for about 2 minutes, and I'm just going to get my opening line. So, welcome everybody to the Electric Sheep AMA on Twitter. I know it's Friday night. It's Friday here, and I know it's kind of late for a lot of community members, especially from Asia. So really appreciate it that you're taking the time to join the space with us. So today is going to be a little different than all the other AMAs we've had before because we're obviously having Hero with us today. So, I mean, it's super exciting for me because it's going to be our first time, talking about the Electric Sheep with someone who's got a reputation and respect on, different blockchains as well as in the realm of NFTs. So I'm really excited and also I'm kind of thrilled because I've chatted with Hero a couple of times before, and his personality just seems so great. And yeah, I'm just really looking forward to working with you long term.
Yeah, no, likewise. And I was really excited about this opportunity because I really had my own questions I kind of wanted to ask you, and I feel like if I have the questions, some other people probably in your community might have the same questions. So yeah, I love NFTs. I just love JPEGs. I buy whatever looks and feels like me and what I vibe with. But I'm not obviously the money in NFTs is great, and not to say that I'm not here for the money, but I'm pretty good at buying high before it goes down by like 90%. But I think with Electric Sheep, that's something that isn't going to happen. And I can tell you guys have a strong community so far with all of your engagement throughout Discord and Twitter and everything. But I was hoping maybe like throughout the kind of duration of this, I could ask you some questions.
For sure. This is actually the first. This is our fourth or fifth AMA, but like the previous ones, frankly, we're doing them kind of internally. We didn't have like a kind of an outside guest, if I can call you that. So yeah. I think questions from you can kind of come from a different angle than if we were kind of talking amongst ourselves or trying to share information ourselves. So I think that'd be great.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, I wrote down a few, so hopefully I don't put you all on the spot too much. But yeah, so I'm obviously really interested in the project, really interested in the art, really interested in the DAO behind Electric Sheep, and I think there's a lot of potential. I mean, look at freaking Moonbirds coming out of nowhere several days ago with their volume flipping blue chip overnight, and I think looking at this team and some of the deliverables, it's the potential to do that. But maybe to kind of start off, if you could maybe just give me a better overview of the team, of who's involved. Obviously, I've been seeing that the character designer from Elden Ring, which first off, that got me really interested because I've been genning pretty hard on Elden Ring since it came out. Anyway, I love that game, so that really kind of caught my attention first off. And then I noticed Disney was in it, and then I noticed looks like Binance Labs with Ultraverse. So there's a lot of really big names. So love to know a little bit more about the team and who's involved, if you wouldn't mind.
Sure. Well, I think should we start with Joe and myself? Joe, do you want to start since we're live on the call? We can introduce ourselves first, and then we can kind of give some background for the other kind of core team members that aren't on the AMA with us.
Yeah, sure thing. Yeah. My first job is to work for Intel as a software engineer. And then I started to work on my own startups, my gaming startup since year 2007. And in the past years, I sold to gaming companies. So I also work on angel investment in part-time. So I was also the shareholder of several gaming companies. And I started to work on blockchain since year 2017. And it's very interesting. I have a college classmate, and he is also a partner in Fenbushi Capital. That in that fund, Vitalik was once the managing partner for a while, and like he approached me and talked to me and introduced what kind of blockchain and what they are thinking about blockchain. So I think almost all my blockchain ideas are coming from the Vitalik. Like the blockchain will help the trustless entities to work together with higher efficiency. So, to be honest, I was totally convinced by the ideas from the Vitalik. And so since year 2017, I was working with Fenbushi Capital to experiment blockchain plus X, like the blockchain plus AI, blockchain plus smart car, blockchain plus insurance, and until I joined Altiverse last year. Yeah, so that was my experience.
That
and
sounds
Jay?
Yeah, that sounds
I-
really
I-
impressive.
sorry.
I mean, a lot of times you kind of go into this, and a lot of teams don't really have the experience and background. But it sounds like working with Intel, you sold 2 gaming companies, so obviously you're on the right track. And I love that you're in it, because I'm kind of in this from the beginning too, since 2016. So with Ethereum and Vitalik, yeah, just help with trustless entities to work together for better efficiency. So yeah, thanks, Joe.
Yeah, thank you. I was also feeling that I'm quite lucky because in this project, my background fit well. The gaming and the blockchain and like working for the startups. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's huge.
So I guess I'll introduce myself. I'm Jay, and I think most people, at least from our internal community, are somewhat familiar with me because I've been on, I think, all our AMAs. What's my blockchain story? So I wish I got in, early, right? I wish I got in like 2014 or 2016. But for me, initially, I was really interested by kind of non-DeFi applications for blockchain tech. That was kind of my eureka moment. I watched like a couple TED talks. And was like, wow, this technology could be world changing. And then I kind of really got personally financially involved with crypto early in 2020. And then gaming since I was a kid has been a passion of mine. I still game when I can. I got my gaming laptop and my PS5 here. And then I've joined Altiverse about almost a year ago now. What else? NFTs was something I kind of slowly dipped my toe into. I started off pretty low key with Solana because I was like, oh, the kind of barrier of entry was lower than ETH. Obviously, less gas fees or almost no gas fees on Solana. So bought a couple Degen Apes relatively early on, so that was a nice flip, and then that was kind of the start of my NFT addiction, and it's kind of just snowballed from there. And then now I didn't introduce my role. I'm the business development lead here at Altiverse. So, and recently I've been on a lot of AMAs, so it's been great to connect with our community.
That's awesome. Yeah, I need to see your gaming rig. So my setup and my day-to-day is basically 2 monitors for crypto and Twitter in general in various communities, and then I play either PlayStation or Diablo or some type of game on my TV above me. So yeah, I can relate. Thanks, Jay.
Diablo is one of my favorites. Like Diablo 2 back in the day when I was a kid was a good time for sure.
So the Resurrected, or I think it's Resurrected D2R, but they're coming out with the ladder on April 28th. So I'm probably going to be MIA somewhat from work obligations and crypto obligations to be playing that, but it's great multitasking in the space for it. So
for sure.
Yeah, I feel like every time I'm chatting with a bunch of guys, I just wish I could know more about gaming or sports. That's sometimes I just feel like I'm left out. When
we got to do a stream, and we'll get you involved. We'll the most toxic game ever is probably Dota or League of Legends. So we could start there and
start with the most toxic, yeah. Dota 2 all the way. I'm a Dota 2 fan.
No, you'll get a lot of simps though, so you'll do great, and I'm sure you'll
for real
everybody.
Bone, I thought you said you played Call of Duty, like at least one of the Call of Duties, right? I think you mentioned that once.
I think I played just like one of them, like actually walked through the whole game, but I was pretty much a big fan of the Black Ops series.
Oh yeah, Black Ops. Yep.
Yeah. And I'm just going to give a quick introduction of myself too. I'm Bowen, and some of you might I've been with the team for a while too, pretty much the same time as Jay joined the team. My experience covers not only NFTs or GameFi, but also NFTs or GameFi, but also DeFi. I've helped with a few other the marketing for a few other projects before, but I feel like Ultiverse or Electric Sheep is definitely one of the projects that excites me the most. Yeah, so I'm definitely looking forward to that. Also, what I just mentioned earlier is going to be featured in our products. So everybody just stay tuned.
Cool. I think we also obviously have a couple other core team members that aren't on the AMA with us right now. Joe, do you want to do like a quick kind of quick intro, quick background for them?
Yeah, sure. I think I can.
Sorry, my mic connected to my car, I think. So if you ask me a question.
No worries. We've had some internet issues before. Also, it's just part of the tech in 2022.
Yeah, it's all right. Yeah.
Whenever you want something to go right, there's always something that happens like that. So it's no worries. But I think as an initiative for probably the community, eventually as this gets launched as a game night and we find a game that everyone likes to play, we play it together.
I'm totally down. I'm totally down.
Yeah, so I will continue with the introduction of Frank, our CEO. Frank has appeared in our AMA for several times. I became friend with Frank in year 2018 when both of us are working on a public chain project sponsored by Fenbushi. And from my working experience with Frank, I would say Frank is really a genius. He graduated from CMU, and he has been working in the Bay Area since then. And he also created several startup projects himself, like the reverse Groupon or something like that. Yeah, I have checked his project. It's really great. And in year 2021, I mean, the last year, his company was sold to Sims. And then at that time, he came to me and talk about the idea of Ultiverse. And I really think that's a great idea and a great team. And at that time, I joined with him, and we work on everything else with the rest of team. I think I can also make a introduction to Kyle, our CTO, because I also recognize Kyle in the same year as Frank, because we were all working in that public chain project. Yeah. So I would say Kyle is like a pure geek. He actually participated in many crypto projects, like the ELF chain. It's based on the color chain. It's very early, and he also worked on the blockchain explorer, like the auction platform for the Binance chain, and he also worked on the Candy distribution platform. I say before Kyle joined Ultiverse, he was a director in TikTok, but sometimes I talk to Kyle. I'm thinking that he should never go to TikTok, because if he keeps working on blockchain in his full time instead of part time, I think he should be very famous right now. Yeah. And so the next is about Cypher. Jake, could you help me? I'm going to have some kind of water.
Yeah, sure, no worries. And just a side point, if anyone's frustrated that their kids or themselves spend too much time on TikTok, we can definitely reach out to Carl and voice our grievances.
Yeah, I tried to make a TikTok and I didn't know what to do. I have an account, I think, called Haro or something, but I just didn't know what to post. So I think I just have the name and I'll let it be there. But yeah, that's cool. So it sounds like, I mean, I looked at ALF and they're on Binance and a lot of other, pretty much all of the big exchanges. So you guys have some obviously serious connections with Carl, CTO, and Frank, your CEO. So that's huge.
For sure. I mean, I came compared to the rest of the people we're introducing, and Joe and Carl, Frank. I definitely came in late, and I mean, I gotta be honest. One of the selling points for me was seeing who the core team members with. Right. I think anybody when they're contemplating taking a job somewhere, joining a team, you want to look at who's at the top, who's gonna be running the show. Right. So that was definitely a big sell for me. So Cypher, that we didn't introduce yet. So Cypher is basically our chief producer for Electric Sheep as well as Ultiverse. And Cypher, has been working in the game industry with more than 15 years. I know he was formerly also a chief producer at Ubisoft and Gameloft. I know he worked on, I don't know which ones, but he definitely worked on the Assassin's Creed series and the Prince of Persia series. I personally didn't play Prince of Persia, but Assassin's Creed was definitely one of my favorites. So it was cool to know that. Um, and I know from a lot of the people on our dev team, they've been working with Cypher for a long time. So one of the things I really liked when I was kind of, again, coming into the company was seeing that a lot of the core people on the dev team have been with them for many years. There hasn't been a ton of turnover. And I know another kind of systemic issue in game development is burnout, high turnover. So it was a good sign for me, at least, to see that he kept a lot of the core people that have been with him for a long time. So that's kind of Cypher in a nutshell. Who are we missing? Oh, go
Yeah,
ahead.
I want to. Yeah, I want to also add that Liz, she is the character designer for Elden Ring. Actually, her relationship with uh, Cypher is actually like the Padawan with the master.
Well, that's
Like if the
yeah,
like
that's huge. That's
I like the
I
Star
mean, you
Wars
got some of the
reference.
biggest games. You got Assassin's Creed and Elden Ring, and I mean,
yeah,
I didn't know about the
when
Assassin's Creed piece. That's insane.
Yeah, when Liz graduated from the college, she started to work for Cypher, and she was trained for she was trained by Cypher, and until like Liz is also becoming some kind of master herself. Yeah, it's just like the Padawan and the master in the Star Wars. Yeah, it's some sometimes I will just laugh at them. Yeah.
Yeah, for real. Cool. Um, and then another one. So the name I think is kind of interesting. So I made a joke with some friends. So Electric Sheep. I don't know how familiar with are with Pokemon, but there's a electric sheep called Flaffy. It's like a sheep that's it's a lightning sheep. But anyway, where did the name Electric Sheep come from?
I used to be back in the day. I played a lot of what were the original ones called? It was like red, blue, and yellow, right? So
Yeah,
I
those are
know
the ones. Those are the best ones.
yeah, right, like the OG ones. I know the original 150 by heart, but I don't think the one you mentioned, that must be one of the newer gen ones. So at least from my point of view, I don't think that's one of the inspirations, but I like the the overlap. But I think it definitely comes from what's the name of that book? I can't think of it now. Do androids think of electric or dream of electric sheep? It was like a seminal sci-fi novel by Philip K. Dick. I think back in the 60s or early 70s. So we knew kind of the core world we're building. It was very cyberpunk. A lot of people had been augmented, a lot of biomechanics, and it seemed just like a natural fit to go with Electric Sheep because, in my opinion at least, his novel is kind of like the origin of a lot of that kind of genre we see. I know that like Blade Runner, for example, was based off of his work. So in a nutshell, that's kind of where we got like the name from and kind of the core themes behind our collection.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, kind of looking at some of the deliverables so far. Looks like there's multiple characters, and I have several questions kind of around that. But um, I guess one of the questions is kind of, I guess I'm more curious, not really a question, to see if the characters are separate in the NFT reveal, and if a different character does something different for for the holders and project in general. But mostly, we'd love to, I guess, learn about the main characters in Electric Sheep and what they represent.
Sure. So I think a lot of our listeners have they know the general overall story, and like you said, we've revealed 6 kind of core characters so far on our Twitter account. Starting with Ultiverse and then now the Electric Sheep dedicated Twitter account. So in the world that we're building with Electric Sheep, there's essentially, the world has gotten to a point where there's kind of 3 core organizations. We like to call them vying for control. There's the company, and that is the organization that originally developed the humanoid technology. And they're basically, the way I want to look at it, if I simplify it, is they're basically like, the super wealthy, influential, multinational corporation of our nightmares, right? Like in a dystopian future. And following a massive global war between humans and humanoids, kind of where national states, countries as entities, borders that we kind of know now kind of dissipated, there kind of was a world government that formed. And I would say the company is kind of the evil empire that is kind of influencing the world government and pulling the strings from behind the scenes. And then we also have the third organization would be the gangs, which is represents the common people, the people that have that might not have gotten a fair share of, let's say, the equity in the future. That's kind of really pushing back against these kind of authoritarian, oppressive control that the company is enacting on them via the world government. So that's kind of like the general kind of setting of our story for Electric Sheep.
Do you have a favorite one? A favorite? I think of it as kind of like classes of characters and groups. Do you have a favorite personally?
I don't have we're kind of doing. I think actually that contest has mostly ended, but there's a really kind of pivotal character of the six. So I should start with we introduced 2 characters from each of the 3 organizations, so 2 each, 6 total. And my personal favorite was the painter, and we just kind of ended this campaign where we let the community name her. So her story is really pivotal to kind of what happens in the future. So there's still a lot about the story that has been revealed. So I can't say too much about why I like her so much, I guess. But of the 3 organizations, at least, I really like the company. When I play, when I played Cyberpunk 2077, I remember you could like pick 3 different backstories, right? I can't remember all 3, but one of the options was like you're a goon of like the evil corporation, right? And I immediately picked that one. Like that's the one I go for every time. So I don't know what that says about me, but that would be the company would be my favorite.
Yeah, no, I do so. In every video game, I pick a female character too. So I don't know what that says about me, but
That
they
says
just
a
look
lot about
better.
you.
They look better. I don't know what to say.
It's more fun. Like you want to role play, you want to go for something different, right? Like all my avatars in Mass Effect. I don't know if you play Mass Effect, but my Commander Shepard was always a female in 1, 2, and 3, like without fail.
Yeah, I mean, I think my first real game I got into was World of Warcraft back. I don't know, I was like 13 or 14, so vanilla. So I think that gives you kind of an idea of how old I am right now. But 77 years old actually. But
it's young.
I don't.
Yeah, that's like 150 for crypto though.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, because crypto goes. But anyway, yeah, I'd always pick female characters. I was a female gnome warlock, so it was looking pretty good. So yeah, I'll move on to the
it's
next.
a shameful point for me a bit as a gamer, but I actually have never put like a minute into World of Warcraft. I played like Warcraft 2 a ton,
I
Warcraft
don't know
3.
if that's shameful. I think that's good. I think I put multiple actual years of my life and played time in World of Warcraft. So bittersweet, but I guess I don't regret it. It was pretty fun.
I mean, it's all Blizzard's fault because as far as I know, they're really good at coming out with like expansions, right, and new content. So like you're never done. There's always like a new carrot, that's dangling in front of you.
And with that game specifically, it's I really liked the community back in the day when it wasn't like multi-world servers and stuff, and it was whoever was on your server you really knew pretty well. So I liked the old WoW, and I really haven't played any of the new ones as much, but yeah, I feel you. So I was going to dive into kind of one of my bigger things is with Ultiverse DAO. One thing that really caught my attention is that Binance Labs was leading your seed round. So, and I don't know if you can drop any of this at all or not. I understand obviously if you can't, but I was curious if holders of the Electric Sheep NFTs get any benefit for the TGE that's later this year with your Binance-led Ultiverse, I guess, TGE project.
So especially coming from Solana, and I don't want to like shill for Solana or anything, but I do feel like one way that the meta for NFTs is a little bit different on Solana versus ETH is that utility has become such a huge core part of it. Like if you want to launch anything that is even remotely successful on Solana, you have to have a token. You have to have some kind of staking functionality. So I think they're a little bit ahead. I think the community expects that out of Solana, and I think we kind of want to go that route where it's not. It's a cool picture. It'll make a great PFP. Of course, we want you to hold it. We want the floor price to rise so people can make money on it. But then we also realize that if you really want longevity for the collection, for the project, you have to bring additional value to the holders, right, to the community. So there is definitely some stuff planned for holders of Electric Sheep in regards to the TGE. We have other utility planned as well. One thing I can kind of share right now is the first one that you will see. One of the first ones I should say is that Electric Sheep holders will get invited to our closed alpha for Terminus, which is our metaverse hub. And in it, they will be able to basically a 3D avatar within Terminus will have their one-of-one NFT represented. So your one of the early utilities we have is basically your Electric Sheep is going to be like your access pass, not only to the private alpha, but also to like your unique personal visually represented player avatar, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah, totally agree.
I love that.
Yeah, we also believe that the utility will be the chain. We believe the utility will be the super important for PFP. Yeah, we cannot speak too much right now, but I think we all agree that PFP, our PFP, the ship will have very strong token utilities. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah,
and I want to add that
because
sorry, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, Joe. No,
I was just to add on to what Joe said is like, and because you touched on it, like we've been really, for lack of a better word, blessed to have some really strong organizations behind us. Obviously, Binance Labs supporting us in our leading our seed round was huge. Not only from a financial point of view, not only from an OpEx point of view, but because they're obviously extremely experienced, right? So that kind of experience and that kind of, I guess you can call it mentorship is invaluable to us. And obviously we also have Sequoia. We're backed by Sequoia, by Defiance, by Three Arrows Capital. So we're really in an advantageous position to have these organizations supporting us, guiding us along this process. It's really, really been invaluable for us.
I don't know. Yeah, that's huge. I mean, so Binance Labs, Three Arrows Capital, Disney, Elden Ring, TikTok. I mean, that's pretty crazy. And another thing, so like you're answering a ton of questions that I had even kind of going into this was so often in NFT projects or communities, there's like an art reveal and then that's it. So for people that are really concerned about floor price and obviously want to try to make a quick flip, it seems like this one is one that is something to hold on to because there's actual purpose to holding on to it, instead of just the common, oh, we're going to do a merch drop, or oh, we're going to do games, and then we'll kind of try to figure our shit out a lot later on down the path. It sounds like you have a lot of stuff already figured out to where it's going to be strong leading into stronger as you release and even go into your TGE with the Ultiverse. So that's, yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, I think you bring up a good point. I think a lot of projects, I'm a big proponent of GameFi, obviously, and you see a lot of people trying to, create games on chain, but we don't really think of the game we're creating as an add-on. That's kind of like, our core product, right? So when I mentioned Cypher, our chief producer behind the dev team, and we're building Ultiverse and Terminus and Endless Loop, all using UE5. So our overarching goal really is to truly come up with like the first on-chain killer app, AAA experience that fingers crossed can really kind of be that bridge between what people call traditional gamers and then the people on GameFi. So that's really what we're aiming for long term.
Well, as exciting as like the Pixelmon launch was with their 70 million raise and Fiverr game videos and the Kevin release, refreshing to see that. I mean, you can't doubt that you actually have devs and designers from AAA titles already, right? You guys know what you're obviously doing. So it's refreshing that it's not going to be a Kevin release, and I don't think people have to worry about it. So
yeah, no, not to throw shade on other projects, but I think there's different
no,
niches
yeah, I'm not
that you
trying
can,
to, but the Kevin will live
for
down
sure.
forever as the funniest reveal.
It was a little bit underwhelming. But I think there's space. It's almost repetitive to say there's space within the GameFi space, but there's different niches that can be filled. Um, I played Axie Infinity when it first came out, and I think they were, they kind of started the process. I think there's space in GameFi for casual mobile experiences for all types of games. It just happens to be that the route we're going is kind of for that, really, UE5 realistic, immersive, kind of social gaming full-on experience. And we mentioned World of Warcraft prior, but Endless Loop, which is our first internal launch on the Ultiverse platform, is going to be kind of a sci-fi MMO RPG. So that's kind of like what we're aiming for.
Nice. Yeah, you caught my attention. So, so what other kind of product suites do you have under Ultiverse right now? So I know there's obviously Electric Sheep, but I know this doesn't seem like a short-term gig. It seems like you have everything planned out. You have the connections, 3AC, Binance Labs. Your own internal connections are massive. So, like, what's the long-term vision, and what are you building out with Ultiverse?
Well, the first thing, I think it starts with Terminus. It's going to be our metaverse gaming and social hub. From there, we're building out modules for DeFi, for NFTs. Hopefully, we'll put maybe an AMM on there at some point. We kind of want that to be kind of your like gaming home base for players to interact with each other, and that will be kind of also the metaverse launchpad for other games. And we're making it so other creators can create their own experiences on Ultiverse that other people can access via Ultiverse, via Terminus. And obviously, we know to kind of get the ball rolling, we need to create like a really great experience. So the first game we're launching that you can access through Terminus is Endless Loop, which is the MMO RPG that I referenced earlier.
Do you have like probably way too soon, any type of release time frame for that? I know that's, I'm not putting you on the spot, but you could even say within a couple of years, and that would make sense.
Definitely within a couple of years, sooner than that. So, game development, as you know, it's prone to delays. I'm not a developer myself, but let's just say it's prone to delays. But we're definitely on track for the Terminus, so our social gaming hub, alpha and beta to be this summer. I think we'll be able to launch that later on in the year, and then Endless Loop mainnet will be hopefully, let's just say, Q2 next year. I think sometime next year for sure.
Yeah, I want to add that besides all the products, we are also a big fan. We are a big fan of the cross chain. So in the meanwhile, we will be working on some cross chain products, and we are also working with the BNB chain community on some kind of new NFT standards. Hopefully, with such kind of new standards, we can be much easier for the cross chain and cross projects. Like if you have a NFT from the project A, we think that you should be easily to use it in the other projects. So that would be the trend, and we will also be working on that. Besides all our own products, yeah.
Yeah, I agree, and that's how you gain more. Market share, more community. There's so many different chains and so many different communities in each chain that are loyal to each chains. So to make an easy approach to kind of connect them all, I love that. Love to see and hear that you have that on your plans. So I guess kind of my final. We went through a lot so far. To summarize, let's see if I can remember it all. I have a memory of a goldfish, but so we did quick intros. Looks like part of the team. We got TikTok intel, game titles like Assassin's Creed, Elden Ring, obviously the Bancroft brothers from Disney helping with art design as well. Ubisoft, Gameloft, and then a lot of the utility. So going back to the Ultiverse, potential utility with the TGE, and then the gaming experience. So it sounds like there's a lot on deck and a lot on a lot of things people have to look forward to. So I was curious of ways the community can get whitelisted and what those campaigns are looking at. So I'm in your Discord and I've seen a variety of events coming right now, but how can the community get whitelist spots and what does that look like?
For sure, that's a great question. So, like you said, we're basically, first off, we have our colleague is in charge of Chris, in charge of our Discord, is awesome. So he's done a great job on Discord. Shout out to Chris. So like you said, we're running a bunch of different events currently on our Discord. In general, the way it works is depending on your role within our Discord. There's different kind of barriers of how many events you have to complete in order to get a whitelist spot. So roles we have right now, for example, the OG role, right? The first group of people who were kind enough to support us on Discord, they only have to complete, I believe it's 3 whitelist events in order to get the whitelist, and it kind of goes up from there. I think the max is, if you join right now and start, completing different events, I think you have to complete 5 of them. If I'm wrong, don't blame me. Check Discord, but I believe it's 5. So anywhere from 3 to 5 events in order to get a whitelist role. And the events range from like daily quizzes to fan art, UGC contests, user generated content contests, and there's a couple others as well. So definitely check out the details on our Discord. We'll probably be adding more and more events as we go along. And it's still pretty early. I believe we started about a week ago on the 15th. So we'll be running basically our whitelist our whitelist spots, our different events up until just a few days before mint. So still a lot of time.
Yeah, I'm thinking that besides all the events, we also want our community to help us to create the story for the Ultiverse. So I'm seeing that right now we are launching like a new UGC event. Like we want our community to define the background, the language, and who is Panther and what she is. Actually, we want our community to help us to define her. And after the event, I think we finally would place the Panther into the Ultiverse, and the character, all the characteristics of the Panther will all be defined by the community. Yeah.
I love that you're involving community with those decisions. And then, I mean, I liked the Painter video yesterday. It makes me want to see what happens next, kind of with that story. So your video that you released, it was either yesterday or the day before. But I think one of my biggest things is it doesn't look like you have a fake community. So a lot of these NFT projects, they come in with a fake community. They may have hundreds of thousands of followers, but it's not real people. And you can tell that looking at your socials, looking at your Discord, you're not just botted to death. You have real people that are genuinely interested in the project. And yeah, you may not have 200, 3,000 followers, but I take 10,000 real followers over a million fake followers any day. So the fact that you guys are doing it legitimate and not just kind of just pushing numbers for optics, but actually care about the community and care that they're getting involved, helping tell the story. It's good to see that you're the real deal and not just trying to do like a cash grab based off of hype, which again is another really, really important thing to me because we see so many of those fail. So it obviously sounds like you're going to deliver, and I'm not sure exactly the mint date in May, but I am so stoked on when that's going to happen, and hopefully I can get on board with you guys.
I definitely think we can make that happen, and I appreciate what you said. I totally agree. Like, I think for people that have been in the space for a long time, as let's say as an NFT speculator, right? Like when you go to check out a new collection and you're like, oh, they have this many followers, but then you look at the engagement and you're like, okay, this is a little bit suspect. So we're really blessed and happy to have a pretty large group of like a core following at least. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but we have a really, really nice core following of people that have been supportive and are engaging, and definitely join our Discord because it's pretty active and pretty fun in there.
Yeah,
then, oh, go ahead, Bowen.
Yeah, I would check our Discord from time to time, and it's pretty obvious that other conversations happening in there are legit. So I'm pretty excited to see that.
I'm pretty sure we're gonna have Bowen on some games for like a game night, and we'll play Fortnite or League or Diablo. Or
I'm definitely going.
Or we'll play Among Us. We'll do something.
Also, we're rolling out activities leading up to our whitelist at some point, consistently. So, we're building something that's gonna last a long term. Yeah.
Oh, that's a really good reminder, Bowen. I honestly forgot. Is after the AMA, I believe there will be a new kind of competition. I'm not sure how it's gonna be worded. Released on the Ultiverse Twitter, not the Electric Sheep specific Twitter, but Ultiverse Twitter. And it's not directly part of the whitelist campaign, but it will. I believe the reward is an OG role. So I mentioned earlier, once you have the OG role, it's a lot easier to get a whitelist spot. So definitely check out Multiverse Twitter following the AMA here, because there'll be a kind of a new competition announced.
Thank you, Jay, for covering that.
Sure.
I don't know.
Go ahead.
Do this part. Yeah, sorry, Bowen. I don't mean to interrupt you. I'm terrible.
I know.
If you guys wanted to invite people from the community up to talk or anything.
Yeah, I was about to mention that. So, okay, let's move on to community questions. I'm going to select a few people from our audience. If you want to ask a question, just type the raise your hand emoji. Anybody?
I think I'm looking at the Twitter UI, and I think a couple people requested to be speakers. I assume they have questions, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, they probably did.
I've seen a few people. I've seen a few people requesting to speak earlier. So I'm just I see a few. Okay, let's start with.
There we go.
Okay, here we go.
Hello. Will virtual reality support?
Connecting.
Virtual reality be implanted in the metaverse?
Hello there.
Hey, Bella. I think it was still connecting when you asked the first part of your question. Can you repeat that?
Will virtual reality support be embedded in the metaverse?
I think there was a connection issue still, Bilal. Sorry, I couldn't hear it either. My internet might be crappy, but maybe
it was hard
one
for
more
me as well. I'm sorry.
Or if you want to DM me, just DM me your question, and then that would help with the connection issue.
Good idea.
Yeah, but I couldn't hear you either. So do you mind?
I heard metaverse.
I did hear metaverse.
I heard that too. Do you mind repeating your question again? Or I think we're gonna move on to the next person.
If you DM me your question too, just that would help, and we'll answer it.
Yeah, I think we'll just get back to you later. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Just one sec. I think I just saw Noah requesting.
We're stress testing Twitter Spaces in real time. I love it.
I'm glad you're doing this, Bowen, and not me, because I would really blow it up.
Hello, excuse me. Anyone hear me?
Hi, Noah.
Hey, Noah.
Hello.
Nice to meet you.
I'm nobody from Ultiverse Chinese community. I just one question. We are all full of expectation for electricity. I would like to know. I would like to ask. In the previous AMA, the team mentioned that there would be an airdrop reward for holding NFT. So does the reward person need to stake NFT? Is it a hard stake or a soft stake? Or just hold the NFT? Hello?
Yep, I could hear you. Sorry, I was on mute. So my understanding, so things are relatively fluid, I would say, but we do have some airdrops
Yes,
planned
right?
for our electric sheep holders, and at least I'll be honest, at least I am pushing for just you have to hold it in your wallet. So it definitely won't be a hard stake. I don't think it will be, and I think the direction we're gonna go is where as long as you're holding it in your wallet, you will be eligible for the airdrops.
Okay, okay. All understand. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thanks for your question, man.
Thank you.
See, I didn't know that either. That's actually really cool. So I'm interested to hear the details of that kind of later on and see how they evolve. So, like, let's say I own 100 NFTs, if that affects the airdrop. We'll talk about that later.
We'll
cool,
be
though.
more than happy if you have 100. You'll be our first whale. That would be epic.
Well, I guess it depends the price. I guess if the floor price is 30 ETH each, I'm not gonna have 100. I might have one or two.
That's why you gotta get in early, man. You gotta get in early. Yeah.
Oh, believe me, I'm gonna try.
Thank you, sir, for your question and your answers. I think I'm going to pick a girl this time. At least I hope that's a girl.
Girl power.
Let's go for Lego.
If it was me, it'd be my profile picture as a girl, and then it'd be a guy talking. We'll see, though.
I think it's Jennifer Connelly. I love Jennifer Connelly. I'm excited.
That's she.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Could you name some three distinctive features of Altiverse that make the project different from the other metaverses? Thank you.
Sure. For me, at least, I can't speak for anybody, but I think I kind of touched on this during the AMA earlier, but I at least still haven't seen. I guess I should start with my gaming background is definitely from traditional gaming, and though I dabbled in some MOBAs like Dota, multiplayer games, like I my bread and butter, what I really enjoy playing is like the super immersive, kind of more single player experiences, and obviously being on chain. The games that we're going to be launching, Endless Loop is not going to be single player, but it's going to be super immersive. We really put kind of graphical fidelity at one of our core focuses. Obviously, building on UE5 and Unreal Engine 5 has been great for us. It's really cool what you can do with that game engine. So off the top of my head, for me, that's kind of what I am really excited about. And then also we're really working hard on kind of, I always mess this word up, even though I'm a native English speaker, is interoperability for our NFTs between Terminus, Electric Sheep, and Endless Loop. We really want the ecosystem to be really flexible where your investment in NFT, the tokens you gain can be transferred back and forth between the different product offerings. So I really think kind of those two things kind of set us apart. Joe, do you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, sure. But maybe I'm going to tell a very long story, yeah, because this is about how we categorize the metaverse. You know, the first of all, like we will categorize the metaverse into the metaverse for the real life and metaverse for the gaming. In the category of metaverse for the real life, we can see like Microsoft and Facebook in this category, because you can see their metaverse product is like you work with your colleagues in a virtual life. It's for the like to have a meeting with higher efficiency, or for you to work from home in higher efficiency. So we can see some products in this category. But in the other category is like the metaverse for gaming. And in the gaming field, we can further categorize the product into two types. The first is like we can see like with the low poly and the pixel based. It would be like the Minecraft, right? And for the Roblox and the Sandbox. And the other category is what we are working on right now, like with the AAA quality, highly immersive, right? It's more like the Ready Player One. And if we look at the metaverse we are working on compared to the low poly metaverse, actually it's very like the current in the movie industry versus the TikTok, because you can see in the TikTok they provide very convenient tools so that the every people they can produce the content. It's just like the low poly or say pixel based metaverse. They are provide tools to the every people. They are building not that beautiful world, but they can do the fully customization. But in our metaverse, we are like in the movie industry, because like if you are going to work on a AAA quality, highly immersive, it must be a professional team, right? But so if we look at the TikTok industry, we can see there could be only one TikTok, because when one company they provide the most convenient tool, and the content creator go to that platform, then all the audience would be there. All the competitors will be defeated by the network effect, right? But in the movie industry, we can see there are several companies there. We can see like the Disney, the HBO, the Netflix, right? And the Paramount and Amazon. I can name a lot. So that's the difference. We believe that in our category of metaverse, the best content provider can survive, and the content would be scarce. And our confidence comes from our belief that we are among the best content provider. And based on our content production capability, and based on all the help from our partners like Binance and on the Ethereum and from the BNB chain, something like that, I think like we can be one of the winners. Maybe we can be the Disney, maybe we can be the HBO or something like that. Yeah. So this is basically in our mind. So we will be focused on the content creation, provide the best content, and work with the community closely. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. I think I'm going to have Anna on this time. She's been on the waiting list for a while. And obviously, I like her PFP also.
It's all about the PFP. Usually, back in my crypto start like trading days, I would just buy whatever logo looked the best. So if I vibed with the colors of the logo and the look of it, I would just press buy.
Can you hear me?
Hi, Anna.
Yeah, hello. Thank you for the opportunity to speak.
Of course.
So my question,
Oh, find that girl.
My question is, do you see a reflection of yourself in the world of cyberpunk and especially electric ship characters? And which one you relate yourself with?
Oh, that's a really good question. I haven't thought too much about which of the like 6 main characters that I personally identify the most with. I think I identify kind of with the themes a lot. I guess another way I answer it, if I'm not getting too philosophical, is like personally I think one of the big interesting developments that we're going to see in our lifetime is like AI, right? Artificial intelligence, sentient machines, and I think we're destined for I think that you see a lot in the world already. Like you see it with prosthetics. In a way, like pacemakers for people with heart issues are a kind of like a mechanical augmentation, right? That we're already doing. So I just think it's like humanity is definitely going down that path, and there are some really obvious, let's just call them like problem areas where we could bring on the apocalypse ourselves via AI. So looking at kind of the stories that we have through sci-fi with like Blade Runner, It's kind of almost like a cautionary tale, but at the same time, I almost feel like we're kind of destined to get to that point at some point. So I guess that was a weird way to answer your question. What do you guys think?
Yeah, when I watch the cyberpunk, this kind of animation or movies, I always will think about one question: what is human? What is humanity? You can see like in the movie, sometimes the machine could be more humanity than human beings. Like right in the Blade Runner, I remember the previous the Blade Runner 1. I mean, started by the Harrison Ford. Actually, the cyborg, the humanoid, actually he is like more humanity than most human characters in that. So I think this is a very, very good question. So what makes a human, right? If you modify the most of your body in the future, are you still a human beings or not? So if there's like a humanoid created by the company and he acts more, he acts with the other people with more humanity. So is he a human or not? So this is like a confrontation storyline I am always very obsessed with. Yeah, it's very interesting.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much for your answer. Yeah,
Of
like
course,
I
Anna.
appreciate it. Thanks.
Thanks for your question, Anna.
Thank you. I think I'm going to have the last question from a guy just to prove that I'm not biased against men. Okay, I'm going to have ZK Legend on. Hello, ZK.
Hello.
Can you hear me? Hi.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I have a question about the Electric Strip NFT characters. So will there be any new characters in the Electric Strip NFT collection in the future?
So I think a little bit of echo. Sorry, guys. So we've introduced like the 6 core characters.
Sorry, ZK, can maybe mute there?
Oh, Jay, you speak like a god.
Sorry, I do sound like a god. I appreciate it. Maybe Joe, I'll let you answer this question because I'm getting some serious echo here.
I think ZK, if you can put yourself on mute.
Thank you.
Oh, that was it. My bad. I thought it was me. So we've already kind of introduced the 6 main core characters. What I can say is there might be some secondary characters, though I'm honestly not sure. What I am sure about is that the story is definitely not done. We've kind of set the setting, introduced their backstories, and just kind of got it started. So there will be a lot more kind of lore reveal and a lot more kind of character development for our 6 main characters that you will see, coming up here.
Thank you. Thank you for your answer.
You're welcome.
Can we do more of these
guys.
after today?
What's that? Sorry.
I said, can we do more of these after today? I'd love to
definitely
a daily space.
I'm so down. So I think that's pretty much it for today's session.